Yo, what is up, guys? James Carter TV here to give my NFL Week 17 picks and predictions. Last week I went 10-6, which was a little bit underwhelming, but overall I'm happy with it. There were some upsets last week that pretty much not a lot of people saw coming, like the Ravens beating the Steelers, the Rams beating the Seahawks, and some other stuff that happened last week that were just really hard to predict and see coming. But overall, I'm happy with my performance this season, although I do want to close it out strong. I've been closing it out strong because the first half of the season I did really bad, to be straight honest with you, but I've really picked things up. For example, the James Carter TV Picks Challenge in mid-season, I was about 25th out of 60 people. Right now I'm all the way up to 13, and I want to go into that top 10 of my James Carter TV Picks Challenge. That way I can look back at the season and I say, hey, I finished top 10 in my own Picks Challenge. Yeah, I'd love to win it, but you know, there are some good pickers out there, and next season hopefully I can build upon this late surge I've had in this picks and predictions for James Carter TV this year. So with that in mind, let's go into week 17. And this video won't be too long because I think most of these games are pretty easy. I mean, week 17 usually is an easy week. Over the past 4 or 5 years, I always do really good in week 17, as does everybody, because at this point we get it. We get who's better than who. And when you're talking about straight up divisional matchups, I mean, that's what it is. Each and every single one of these matchups are divisional matchups. You pretty much know in a division who is better than whom, and even if it's close, you can pick the home team and you'll be right. You know, so really, this is why Week 17 is so easy. So with that in mind, let's start with the Saints at the Atlanta Falcons. So here we go again, divisional matchup like all the other divisional matchups will be this week. And you have two teams that are kind of close, but the home team is the better team. They're at home. You got to pick them. So, there you go. I'm picking the Falcons to win this game. Don't overthink stuff. Week 17, Falcons at home. I'm picking them to beat the New Orleans Saints. All right, we have the Jets at the Bills. Now, this one I'm actually going to overthink. And I'm going to pick the Bills to win this game. The Bills have pretty much underwhelmed this season to some people. I don't think so. I expected them to go 8-8. I predicted it before the season. People called me, oh my God, you're such a Bills pessimist. Well, I was exactly right, because I think they're going to win this game. I think they're going to be 8-8. I think the Jets are going to be 10-6. They're going to miss the playoffs. Now, the Jets, they've been winning games. They've been looking good. But the Bills and Rex Ryan, if there's one thing they can do, they can get pumped up for this game and they can win this one game. It's just like the St. Louis Rams. For some reason, the Rams, for some games, they get pumped up, like divisional games for the Rams. They get pumped up. They play well in their division. They win divisional games. The Bills, they can get pumped up for this game. They'll win this game. They went to New York. Even though they already are in New York, but they went to the Jets Stadium and they beat the Jets, albeit on Thursday Night Football. Now you're talking about in Buffalo. The Buffalo fans know that they're not going to make the playoffs, but they know they have an opportunity to knock the Jets out of the playoffs, and that means something to these guys. And when these guys have something to play for, they usually show up. And I'm going to pick the Bills to win in New York, in Buffalo, against New York, to essentially knock the New York Jets out of the playoffs. And talk of Rex Ryan being fired, I think, is absolutely ridiculous. I don't know what you people were expecting from the Bills. I was expecting 8-8. This was my expectation. I mean, you people were expecting 10, 11 wins. You people were insane. They were always going to be an 8-8, 7-9 team, and they're an 8-8, 7-9 team. All right, so we have the Detroit Lions at the Chicago Bears. All right, so we have two divisional teams. Both have the same record, but right now I like the Lions a lot more than I do the Bears. And I picked the Bears to go 7-9. So if they win this game, they're 7-9. That's another prediction I got correct coming into this season. The Lions I picked to be 9-7. That one was just wrong. But I think they've gotten things going later on in the season. They've won, like, what, 6-3 since starting off 0-6. They're the better team during the second half of the season. They're going to go to Chicago. They're going to win. We have the Baltimore Ravens at the Cincinnati Bengals. I do think there is an upsability chance here. The Ravens showed last week John Harbaugh is still going to snatch a win when you're least expecting it. And none of us were expecting it last week, and they took it. Now, against A.J. McCarron, who isn't very good, I can see the Ravens upsetting here. Now, I'm not going to pick it, but I just look out for this, and I'm not convinced about this one. We have the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Cleveland Browns. Browns look to be picking near the top of the NFL draft, possibly at the top if they lose and the Tennessee Titans win. I don't think that's going to happen. I'll get into more of that later. But the Steelers need to win this game, and I think they will win this game. And some people like Colin Cowherd, who usually is a clown, and he continues to be a clown, are saying Mike Tomlin, oh, he should have made the playoffs. They need to think about Mike. No, you idiots. Mike Tomlin is a top 10 NFL coach, and the Pittsburgh Steelers getting rid of this guy would be the biggest travesty I've ever seen since possibly, I can't even tell you. What? No. First of all, you do realize that Ben Roethlisberger was out for how many games this year? 4 games this year? And yet, Mike Tomlin won games with Michael Vick. The Steelers beat the Cardinals with Landry Jones. That's it. What a hell of a coaching job by Mike Tomlin. So talk of Mike Tomlin being the problem is absolutely blasphemous. The Steelers have not been healthy. And next year, if the Steelers are healthy, I'm picking them to win the Super Bowl. I am. Because with Ben Roethlisberger healthy, with Le'Veon Bell, with Martavis Bryant, with Antonio Brown, and if they can add some pieces on defense, man, that's a team. And with the Patriots not being, we'll see what they do in the offseason, but with the Patriots not being as dominant as they've been, the Broncos, Peyton Manning will definitely be out. There is a void in the AFC, and I think the Steelers can fill it. But anyway, we're not here to talk about 2017 or 2016. We're here to talk about now. And the Steelers are going to Cleveland, and they're going to win. All right, so we have the Washington Redskins at Dallas. Okay, so the Redskins, they don't need to care about this game, and yet they care about this game. So I don't really know who's going to win this game. I'm picking the Redskins just because Dez Bryant is out. And that was pretty much the only chance the Cowboys had of moving the football. Darren McFadden has been running well, I guess. He's going to pass 1,000 yards. But a very 1,000 yards. You've won one game this whole season without Tony Romo, and that's a shame. So I'm going to pick the Redskins, but I wouldn't surprise me if the Cowboys win this game. Just because I'm not sure how much the Redskins care, but I think the Redskins are just kind of just a better team than the Cowboys at this point. But the Cowboys sweeping the Redskins this year, I don't see it. All right, so we have the Tennessee Titans at the Indianapolis Colts. Colts will be starting, I don't know, a quarterback. They've signed Josh Freeman. They've signed Stephen Morse and someone else that no one else cares about. And they're still going to win this game because they're facing the Tennessee Titans. And they're facing Zach Mettenberger, who is one of the worst quarterbacks I've ever seen. If you did not watch, and I'm sure you did not, the Tennessee Titans game against Houston, Texas last week, it was one of the worst quarterback performances ever performed by Zach Mettenberger. It was awful. Watching as a Tennessee Titans fan last week was one of the worst experiences of my life. It was an absolutely horrible performance by Zach Mettenberger, and I'm convinced that not a game will ever be won with Zach Mettenberger at the helm at quarterback, and I'm not using hyperbole here. So I'm picking the Indianapolis Colts to win this game. We have the New England Patriots at the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins season is turning into more and more of a joke by the day. It's really absurd. It's really ridiculous. And people are saying this is a good head coaching job. I don't see this. Ryan Tannehill is looking less and less like a franchise quarterback. They have issues in the locker room. They fired their GM. Their owner has too high expectations. Why coach Miami? If you're talking about which one's better, Cleveland or Miami, I don't know. The only thing good, you can say Miami has more talent, but they're paying their talent ridiculous amounts of money. Ryan Tannehill's already on a long-term contract. And Ndamukong Suh's the most paid non-quarterback in the NFL. While Cleveland does have a hell of a lot of cap space, so if you go to Cleveland, at least you have something to work with. Miami, you're kind of constrained by the cap space because you've already allotted a lot of your cap space to Ryan Tannehill and Ndamukong Suh. So I don't understand why the Miami Dolphins job is so attractive to people. I don't think it's very attractive at all. Point is this: Patriots at Miami. Got to pick the Patriots to win this game. I'm not sure how much they're even going to play because I'm pretty sure this will be a blowout by the third quarter, but the Patriots will definitely win this game. All right, so we have the Philadelphia Eagles at the New York Giants. Eagles fired Chip Kelly. They're going to be, who's the interim head coach? Pat Shurmur. Pat Shurmur will hold down the head coaching position, interim head coaching position for this week, 1 week only. And, you know, the Giants have been a disappointment, but I think Odell can run around a little bit and they can win this game. That's really all I got for you. All right, so we have the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Houston Texans. You know, the Jaguars are a joke, and I can't believe it that these people are keeping Gus Bradley. I mean, this is one of the most egregious things I've ever heard in my entire life. Are you kidding me? You're keeping Gus Bradley, who is about to go 5-11, or at best, if they win this game, 6-10, after going 3-13 last year, after going 4-12 the year before that, and going 4-12 the year before that, or something like that. What did he go? I think he went 4-12 last year, 4-12 the year before that, and then 3-13 the year before that. I mean, really, these are the worst records I've ever seen. And yet, this guy is still the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and will continue to be the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars until somebody puts an end to this ridiculousness. They went 3-13 last year. They did. I just remember, yes, they went 3-13 last year. They went 5-11 this year. But the year before last year, they went 4-12. And yet, this guy is still going to get away with this. It's absolutely ridiculous. For those of you that watch Breaking Bad, remember when Jesse was talking to Hank on the phone? He said he can't, or actually he wasn't talking on the phone, he was just talking to him in person. He can't get away with it. And yet Gus Bradley keeps getting away with this. I mean, this is ridiculous. San Diego Chargers I'm picking the Texans. San Diego Chargers at the Denver Broncos. Now, the Denver Broncos, they won last week. They clinched their playoff berth. I mean, people were talking about, oh, the Broncos might miss the playoffs. I mean, what a ridiculous conversation. Of course they're going to make the playoffs. Now, will they be the second seed? I say yes. I say they beat the San Diego Chargers today or tomorrow. They clinched the number 2 seed. Will they go to the Super Bowl? We'll see. They were my Super Bowl or my AFC pick to go to the Super Bowl and to lose, and I'm holding on to that because they beat the Patriots later or before on in the season. I think they could beat them again, and the AFC is looking more and more wide open. People are not giving the Chiefs and Jets chance or the Steelers chances. I'm saying if there's a year where a wild card is going to get there, this is that year. And speaking of the Chiefs, they're hosting the Raiders. Give me the Chiefs to win this game. And guys, I'm telling you, do not be surprised if the Chiefs make the Super Bowl. Now, they're not going to win it if they get there. I think whoever comes out of the NFC, if it's the Panthers, if it's the Cardinals, if it's the Packers, if it's the Seahawks, and no one else has a chance, I'm picking the NFC to win the Super Bowl, and I don't think it's going to be close. If the Packers, first of all, the Packers, I know they're not a strong team. But assuming they make the Super Bowl, that means they figured it out, and they will once again be a strong team. So, now you're talking about a rejuvenated Packers, but I don't think it's going to happen, but a rejuvenated Packers. The Panthers have been dominant all season. The Cardinals, who have been dominant all season, man, they're better than any team in the AFC. I don't care who goes to the AFC, unless if it's the Patriots. You can't discount the Patriots, but man, I'd pick the NFC still. I'm picking the NFC to win the Super Bowl. I don't care who goes to the Super Bowl. Unless if it's the Steelers. I think the Steelers might hold me down. But I'm pretty much picking the NFC, and you should too. So anyway, the Chiefs are hosting the Raiders. Give me the Chiefs. Just because they're the better team. And they proved that when they went to Oakland and they whipped their ass. Alright, so we have the St. Louis Rams at the San Francisco 49ers. I don't trust this game. I don't like this game. The 49ers have been sucking lately. The Rams are the Rams. But I'm picking the 49ers at home. You know, the 49ers, they shot me a couple of weeks ago when they went to Cleveland and won. You know, things have kind of been bad lately. I mean, they haven't been bad. They've been blowing out. They've been losing lately. But I think at home they can beat the Rams. If the Rams win this game, will they have swept everybody in the NFC West? They did lose to the Cardinals. Okay, so they'd be 5-1 in the NFC West and 3 and whatever, everywhere else. I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, Jeff Fisher, they'd be 3-7 everywhere else. I mean, this is absurd. I mean, how Jeff Fisher keeps getting away with this, I will never know. Gus Bradley and Jeff Fisher are the two coaches that will keep their jobs unbeknownst to anybody. So, I'm picking the 49ers to win this game. Even though the Rams, they're good at divisional games, I can see them winning this game. But I think the 49ers, they have a little fight in them, and I think that fight will be enough to win against St. Louis. We have the Seattle Seahawks at the Arizona Cardinals. I struggle with this because I'm not really sure how much the Cardinals want to win this game. But they're at home, so I'll pick them to be safe. But it wouldn't surprise me if the Seahawks won this game at all. You know, they lost last week, but they're still a good team, a dangerous team. And they could go to Arizona and win when Arizona already knows that they have the number 2 seed locked up. So, the Cardinals, they're playing for something really hypothetical. I'm not sure I buy it. I think Bruce Arians might be lying to us, and he may just bench their players. We'll see. All right, so we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Carolina Panthers. The Bucs, I was actually going to give the Bucs a chance to win this game before the Panthers lost last week. But now the Panthers lost last week. They have to win this game to avoid losing the number 1 seed and home field advantage throughout the playoffs. So this game has much meaning to it, and I like the Panthers to win it. All right, we have the Minnesota Vikings at the Green Bay Packers. Now, Vikings fans are very optimistic. And I mean, sure. But guys, we've been through this. We've been down this road before. You guys had an opportunity to beat the Green Bay Packers in Minnesota in November, or maybe it was October. Late October or early November, one of those. You blew it, and bad, okay? You lost bad. Aaron Rodgers went to your house, and he shellacked you. I'm not picking against this man in a game like this. He's done it way too much before. I mean, people were talking about, remember a couple years ago, they were facing the Chicago Bears in the NFC North title championship. And, Aaron Rodgers hasn't been too great lately, and he's been injured. Can he come back for one game and play great? Yeah, he did. I'm not picking against him when it comes to a game like this. I'm not. In the playoffs, okay. Here, no. Come on, guys. The Vikings had the chance to beat the Packers earlier this season. They lost horribly. And this was after the Packers were coming off, I think, a bad loss. So you can say, well, the Vikings are coming off a great win. The Packers are coming off a bad loss. Well, that was the story before. And they still lost. So I'm not buying that. Give me the Packers all day, all day. And there you go. Those are my Week 17 picks and predictions. Where yours, comment yours down below. And until next time, James Carter TV, I am out. Peace.